So Susan wrote in Twitter asking for people's help in answering the questions in StudioPress forums on Genesis. So when Susan asks, how can anybody refuse? So in this video, I just wanna take a look at some of the forum posts and hopefully come up with solutions, and then in this process, uh, make others realize my thought process and how I go about customizing Genesis. So let's take a look at this post, and then they're given the URL, and then they say that they want to change the H1 font size. I've changed the default 42 to 30 and it looks exactly the same. I tried changing it to 10, it still looks the same. So let's go there. It would help if the person gives information as to which element they're talking about. I mean, which H1. Perhaps it's these post titles. So that is H1, inside that is an A. So let's see if there is any size that is declared for this A. Hyperlink, nope, there is no font size. Let's go to H1. Okay, so the font size is 2.25 REM, and then that is for the entry title, and for the H1 the font size is 10 pixels. Alright, so the user is basically changing the font size in the wrong place. They need to change it for entry title in line 907. So if I click on that and then change that 24 to 10, you can see that that works. So what we have to tell to the user is to change the font size for entry title element in line 907. You need to change the font size of in line 907 of style.907, is it? Yep. Let's just make it little, as if it stands out. Submit. Alright, that's done. That's done. Parallax Pro, full width images and blog posts. Let's go there. How can I add full width images to blog posts and also have the parallax effect? I assume that much like the static homepage, I could use the same effect in the articles I post. Alright, so let's take a look at Parallax Pro. And let's go to the blog page and go inside and check out a single post. So that's a single post. How can I add full width images to blog posts and also have the parallax effect? So I guess what the user is asking is where they can have this kind of a big section with the parallax background effect. Okay, let's see. So let's do that. So I'm gonna open up Sublime Text and drag the Parallax Pro website, which is running on my local host. And before I do that, I would like to ensure that I'm using the Parallax Pro that is not modified. Alright. So WP content, themes, Parallax Pro, and let's create a new file since we want this to work on posts. I'm gonna call it single PHP. So this will automatically be used by all the single posts. We'll put the opening PHP tag and the closing Genesis tag. Okay, save it. And let's add a widget area that'll in which we can post the content that should appear on the parallax in the parallax section. So we need to create a widget area. For that, I would go to functions PHP and duplicate that piece of code and create a new widget area having the ID of single parallax section. Okay, single parallax section. This is the parallax section which appears above or about below navigation on single posts. Okay, so we need to display that. So display widget area, and then I gotta change give the ID. We just can't display the widget area. We need to specify, hook it to we need to put this in a function. We need to put this in a function that is hooked to Genesis after header. So Genesis after header sk single parallax section. All right, so let's go to the so let me log in. So I got the single parallax section. I'm gonna drag a text widget into this. Put some dummy text and I'll put in some title as well. Hello, awesome. So if I go to a single post and reload, that is appearing, but then it is appearing behind or below the fixed navigation. So we got to give a top margin or top padding equal to the height of that header. So if I inspect, so I'm gonna copy that and open style.css and put in my custom CSS about the media queries. So if I take a look at the header and go to the layout tab, I can see that the header is 70 pixels tall. So if I give a top margin of 70 pixels to this widget area, it comes down like that. Okay, so let's take a look at the parallax section here, and we can see that it's got a padding of that much. So let's just give the same padding. So that would be 190 pixels at the top and 200 pixels at the bottom. Save it. Come here and reload. Okay. Now we need to set a background for this section. So I'm just gonna grab this particular image here. And copy these rules and put it over there. So the background image, okay. So the background size cover, for this we need to give the other parameters as well, other browser specific prefixes. Like that. So save it, come back here, go to the any single post and reload, and it's like that. So we need to change the color to white so we can actually see the text. And let's take a look at this. That is H4 having, okay, what do we have here? H4. All right, so that's styled differently. So I'm gonna copy that and say H4 having a class of widget title. I want the color of this to be white and the font size as 72 pixels and margin at the bottom of 40 pixels. Save it, come back to the single post, reload, and we need to center it, I guess. Yep. So I'm gonna just add text ln center there, come here and reload. All right, so now we need to add the parallax effect for this. So if I go inside JS and take a look at the parallax.js, so it's done using that. Okay, so what we can do is we can duplicate this file. I'm just going to create a new file and call it, first put the code, save it, call it single.js because I want this to load on single posts. And let me delete that section. Let me delete that section. And we're going to change the CSS selector. So single parallax section for that, change the background position as the user scrolls. Okay. So enable parallax effect on, that's just, that should be fine. So now we have to load this. So we'll just do enq. So enq parallax, single parallax. Well, actually, we need to make it specific. So we'll just say sq. Okay, single, and this will be single.js, and we want it to load in the footer, so that's fine. Save it, come back here, F12, reload, and yes, there is parallax effect. So instead of hard coding the background for the parallax section, we can actually have it applied using the featured image or a custom custom field image. But for this section, I think for this tutorial, I think this is enough. Okay, so I'll just reply here saying that you um, could use the code in parallax.js for the top section, for the front pages top section, for a custom widget area on single posts. Here's an example. Alright, so create a single.php in the theme folder having this code. Now, but before that, create a file named single.js in JS directory inside the Parallax Pro having this code. Then create a single.php. We'll just put this in quotes. Having this code. So that would be that one. Oh, before that you got to register that widget area, right? In functions.php add okay, let's make it step by step. And then 2 would be to create a file named having that code, and 3 would be to create single PHP having that code, and next step would be add the following in style.css. Set or change the image, how would I say, background image URL in the above. Okay, that should do it. Oh, finally, go to appearance widgets, drag a text widget into the single parallax section widget area, and put in your desired text, title and text. Okay, that should do it. Submit. Okay, done.